started my my Instagram live, and I have my episode ready. If you all have your episodes ready, then pick up your remotes, get your thumb on that play button, but don't press it yet. We're gonna all do it at the same time. On the count of 3. Are you ready?
Ready.
1.
Let's do it. Ready. Lego.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, my little. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoa. Okay. My episode took a little time there to start. Oh, she's in a cell. Solitary confinement.
Okay, after this, I have a story about being booked for being arrested and why this is like very overdramatic.
Okay. Eager to hear it.
Yeah, me too now. But all the movie references.
Love the NYPD Blue reference. I love NYPD.
I haven't thought about that show in a long time.
Yeah, but it's good. I haven't watched it in a long time either, but it's so.
Wow.
The last place.
I don't like that.
Look at it. Finn remembered who she was this time.
So good.
Wow, the
I
relief.
mean, he ain't wrong.
My internet is going out.
But
Jonathan, do we need to pause?
We need to pause.
I just paused.
Yeah, pause
Or
for a
just skip
second.
the intro?
Okay.
Yeah, pause for a second.
Okay, where are
I'm-
you paused?
Okay, well,
I'm
when
at-
you hit pause, it skips the intro.
I'm pausing. Well, I have it paused at 2:31. It actually started again for me. Oh man, I'm so
So should
done.
we go back to
You pumped at 2:31.
I'm at 2:31. Hold on. Oh man. All right. I'm switching.
Oh, no, mine's buffering.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's because we paused it. That's why.
It's too many of us.
Okay.
It's
back.
It'll be fine.
Okay. I'm at 2:30.
So
and
we're-
I think that's about as close as I'm gonna
I'm
get.
at 2:31.
I think I'm starting to
Okay.
remember why, like, I don't really think much about the Life and Death Brigade after I'm done watching seasons 5 to 7. I think I'm starting to remember why.
Okay, Carl. We don't need the shade from you.
That wasn't shade. That was a fact. No, everyone. There's a difference between shade and a fact. That was a fact. I
The
stated
shade
a
was in the
fact.
after party group
That's a
where you
fact,
just posted about Mitchum.
That wasn't shade. That was a fact. Look, we need to stop mixing up shade and facts. The definition of shade and definition of fact are two very different definitions, and that was a fact. That was a fact. Y'all can giggle about it, but that was a fact.
Carl's throwing shade and facts.
Wait, so where are we restarting?
231.
Y'all are obsessed with
yeah,
the word shade.
I'm still dealing with my terrible internet.
This is
the
what happens
Instagram
when
Live
Andy
and
uses the
internet
wrong
down?
word.
We should start
Who
talking
talking about
to
spilling the
girls.
tea? I said fact.
I said at least they're not.
Oh, I thought someone said I'm obsessed about spilling the tea. I was like, no.
No, I
It's a
said
fact.
at least they're not talking about spilling the tea.
I'm sorry, someone was talking over you, so I heard two things at once.
We know you're not shy about
that-
spilling the tea.
No.
But if tea means truth and I spit facts, then that's that.
What about factoids?
I don't even want to get into that one.
You don't think he's bad in Remarcus? You don't even want to know him on a private chat. All in good fun though.
Yeah, Jessica Reynolds got me hooked on that Love is Blind crap on Netflix.
John,
Haven't
this
read
You
about
are
it.
very welcome. I'm glad it worked.
I was watching with her this morning. She said, "Let's watch this," and I said, "Okay, let's watch this." And she was getting ready to fall asleep. She's like, "Look, I'm gonna fall asleep for a little while," and I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'll just continue to watch it." And I just ended. I'm at the freaking reunion now. I mean, come on.
Shauna.
Is that what you guys were doing today? I got like a notification. And I was like, I wonder what they're doing.
You did what?
I was saying, is that what you guys were doing today? Because I got a notification for
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
yeah. We watched the gymnastics and then we watched Stick It. And then she's like, I don't want to stop watching something. She's like, do you want to continue to watch something with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then she's like, I've been watching this, and it was that Love is Blind stuff. So I was like, okay,
Oh my God, that is such a good show.
now I'm committed.
I love
Yeah,
it. I watched
I
it all
just
in like a
finished
day.
watching the new season, the new episodes.
I watched the new episodes last night after we finished, and I wasn't planning to watch. I didn't realize there was going to be more than one. I thought it was just going to be like one reunion episode, and then I watched all of them, and it was up way too late.
So we need to like start
and-
setting up reality show watches too.
I think there's a box for that on there.
Flavor of Love, Charm School.
I think I personally just like really related to Love is Blind because I met my husband on Reddit and we started talking on the phone, and I was totally in love with him way before we ever met in person.
I met my
Wait, what?
husband. I met my husband on an old instant messenger called ICQ, which was like one of the
I
first instant
remember.
messengers because he was roommates with somebody I went to school with. We've now been married almost 20 years.
My sister met her husband on like a Christian like dating site, and they have three boys, and they're like madly in love, and they're like super cool. Oh,
I just want to go back to this. Sarah, do you say Reddit?
Yes.
What in the? I'm not making fun of you at all. This is just. I have never heard of anybody meeting on Reddit. That is crazy and cool.
Well, it's interesting
I'm
because
shocked.
we didn't meet on like we weren't like looking for a relationship. We met on a subreddit for people with insomnia, and we were
Oh,
both
wow.
going through like bouts of insomnia. And I posted something at like, I don't know, 3:30 in the morning, and he saw it at like 4 and was like, this wasn't that long ago. So he sent me a message and he was like, hey, if you're just can't fall back asleep and you want somebody to talk to, like, I mean, I'm here. I could like, we could talk, whatever. And I on like Discord, and I thought I basically thought he was lying. So I kind of like called him on his bullshit, except for he wasn't BSing me. And we talked that night and for like 6 hours and or like up until the morning time, and then the next day and the next day, and
Here you are
the
now.
rest is history.
Hey Sarah, who is your least favorite person on the Love Is Blind?
Oh, Jessica.
Yes, yes, yes.
I was like,
It gets painful to watch.
yeah.
Like, as somebody who at times in my life has been concerned that I'm drinking too much and embarrassing myself, watching that is like, yikes.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you watch the reunion, you know, what's her name was like this bitch tried to take my husband.
What?
Yeah, Amber.
I feel like Amber took it a little bit like too seriously, like at the point where 2 years later and she's like, we're pretending like she doesn't exist. I was like, I didn't think that she was trying to be manipulative, like watching those reunion episodes. I was more upset with like the Damien Giannina stuff than anything that Jessica did.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of invested in those two. I was like, yeah, you know, them two need to be together. But then I saw, and then that she was just kind of sketchy somewhat throughout. Like, there was some things she would say, and it was like, huh, these two ain't gonna make it.
I think it's like,
Dang.
I think they're in a classic, it's like a classic abusive relationship. They're both emotionally abusive to one another. They won't admit it, but there's so much like passion there that they think that it's like true love. They need to be with other people, in my opinion. I just don't, the way that they're treating each other is like not how you treat somebody that you're in love with.
I agree.
Yeah, I same.
By the way, thank you everybody for bearing with me on this. I see a lot of people on the beanbags, so lots of folks are patiently waiting for this to be resolved. I'm really trying.
Thanks for coming.
Every
to our
It's
night.
all
live
good.
line
We've had
talk.
great conversation.
No.
Yeah.
It's been every night this week, John, except
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
last.
I know. I mean, I have to get rid of this garbage internet.
It's worse
that I
than
have.
it was before.
Yeah. I mean, what happened is it's a long story, but they sent me a new modem, and ever since then it's been even worse than it was before. I just think that ultimately it's just a terrible, just terrible internet, just god awful internet.
I feel you.
Do you
So I'm
have
gonna-
like another option in your area?
Yeah, I'm gonna do somebody, my next door neighbor said that they switched to I think it's AT&T fiber, and they were
That's
very happy with it.
like one of the top you could get.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna just do that, because this is just
Fiber's amazing.
I was gonna say, be careful with AT&T. We ended up having to pay $100 a month for 18 gigs 5 years ago.
Good lord.
oh
Yeah,
I think it's better now.
I hope
yeah.
so.
I'm gonna have to get that tomorrow, because this is just really driving me crazy. Okay, I don't know if it will continue doing what it's doing, but my hope is that we can make it through. All right, we're gonna try again.
Can you
Netflix
tell me
needs to
when
make Gilmore
when
Girls
your
available to
intro's
download.
done?
What's up?
I said, can you tell me when you're done with the intro when you get there? Because that's where I pause right at the end of the
Yeah.
intro. Thank you.
I mean, it's looking like it's going to be freaking slow again. Oh my God.
Do you have
Okay.
an option to do like where you can connect your, I think you've said you're using like an Xbox or PS4. Could you connect it to your phone hotspot? Do you have?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, no. And my phone's data also happens to be really terrible right now. That's what I'm on my phone so that I can like keep the, it's the best that I can do. What I have is really truly the best that I can do. I have to just get rid of I got to get rid of this internet.
It looks like your Instagram live went down too, but that might be good in this
No,
case.
that was on purpose. I'm gonna actually, you know what? You know what? I just got a really good suggestion from somebody. I'm gonna pull out the DVDs.
I was just thinking that.
There
I
we
was like,
go.
oh,
Pull out those
get the DVD.
I mean,
We're back.
Like 2.5 minutes in, we could restart if we needed to make it easier.
Yeah, we just start from zero. Not
Yeah,
hard.
why don't we all restart? I think that'll be like.
I think it's easier than John trying to
Yeah.
get his DVDs to 2 minutes
Me too.
31 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
with the
me too.
DVDs, you can't really see the timestamp. I didn't even think about the fact that you had the DVDs, John.
Yeah, I remember I have those decrepit DVDs that Beth won.
Yeah, don't be
Oh.
talking bad about my DVDs.
The
They're coming in
DVD saved my
handy.
life.
All
We were-
right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we got a solution.
John, we're
Okay.
gonna
The
all
DVDs.
restart.
Yeah,
I always have.
let's all
I always
restart. If you don't mind, everybody who is on the beanbags, let's restart. Let me get this DVD in here. Let's pray that this particular DVD is not decrepit. That would be really like the Gilmore gods trying to.
We could always have somebody pull it up on Google Meets like they've been doing with the other.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about that idea, but
I always
Should
have
we-
my DVD. I have
Should
the
we maybe
experience. Of,
restart the recording as well so that it doesn't have that little last part about Google Meet?
oh, don't worry about it. I can cut that out.
Okay.
I learned one of the many lessons I learned from Hurricane Maria here in Puerto Rico was have DVDs, have a portable DVD player because we were without power with so many months that those saved my life. Really did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
I
good
have-
news, everybody. I got the Warner Clouds. I've got
Yeah.
the Warner Clouds, everyone. All right.
I have my box with all the things I need if we ever gonna go through something like Maria, which I hope never happens, but I'm very prepared this time.
Okay, I got some Lalas going. Play.
Oh, I thought you
Episodes.
started the episode. I was like, wait, what?
No, on the
Okay.
Can you
menu.
imagine
The-
Lala's
Yeah, I
over
remember.
Lorelai in the precinct?
Listen,
All right.
the Lalas on the DVD menus are some intense.
Okay. All right, everybody. I have it. I've got it queued up. Everyone, please do me the great favor.
Hey,
Um,
sorry, but do you want to restart the Remarcus timer since we're restarting?
Yeah,
the
we're going to
episode,
restart
or-
everything. We're going
Oh.
to start the Remarcus timer. We're going to start the Instagram timer is not, you know what? I can do Instagram now that I'm not on this. So, because I'm doing data anyway. So if we lose Instagram, then we lose Instagram. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Everybody have your episodes. Everybody who's on the beanbags. Again, thank you so much for your patience here. I think I'm going to just go back to the DVDs until I hit another decrepit DVD, and then I'll go back. Or I get fiber, and fiber is awesome. So we'll see how that works. Okay. Sorry, everyone on Instagram Live about that, but we're back. We're going to watch the finale together, and we're starting over. So get your episode back to minute 0. I promise you, we will not be having any more problems, at least not on my end. And we are going to, as I said, we're going to press our play buttons at the same time. I'm paused on Lorelai walking into this precinct. So I hope you are too. Get your remotes ready. Thumb on the play button on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
And we're back.
Gosh, it's so interesting actually, like now having watched this scene in HD and now watching it now, it's just really interesting. It's really just missing part of the screen. It's the exact same framing, everything's the same.
The sides are just cut off.
Yeah, it's really as if this is the HD version. They've just put 2 black things on the right and the left of it.
Wait, are you talking about the DVD?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
Oh, that may be your
the
TV.
No, they're like the square.
Yeah, like it's just the aspect ratio.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that like the HD versions are actually, I'll explain in the post show.
Half of us know what you.
I'll be honest, I like to watch on DVDs more because, well, the subtitles are correct.
Oh my gosh.
I need to invest in the DVDs as much as I watch.
I've
You
had all
should.
these for years.
Do they
Plus
have
Netflix
do they
doesn't
have
let you down.
HD DVDs?
I don't think
Like-
so.
Hmm.
If they do, it'd be like real expensive, but you can get the whole set on Amazon for like 50.
You can get them on like Facebook Marketplace too for like cheaper too. Who just giving away?
That's true.
Anybody else notice Finn's nails?
Oh my
I never
gosh,
have before.
that's fantastic. I've never
Yes.
noticed those.
Oh, they're painted.
Yeah. I watched this like 1,000 times, never noticed.
Me either. It just caught me. Something caught my eye when they were up at the counter. And when he turned around to come back, I saw him like, wait, what the heck?
Lorelai's sarcasm to them is one of my favorites.
His nails were painted in some other episodes too.
Interesting.
I'm just wondering why her hair is messed up. Like, was she like laying down or something, or like?
I love that.
Funny because I
blue
never
color.
really noticed the painted nails in this scene, but I've definitely noticed it in previous episodes.
Okay, so as somebody
Oh my,
who's
What?
been arrested,
What?
go ahead, John.
where are you at? Has the episode? Wait,
It's in
where
the
are you
intro.
right now?
We're
in the
in
intro.
the. Yeah, we're in
Okay.
the.
310.
My intro just completely choked. Tell me when Lane has walked in the door and said "Mama."
Okay. We'll let you know.
It literally just like choked and then just jumped to the next scene. What a
Yeah.
day. I mean, it's almost as though this season 5 finale has some sort of bad juju, bad luck.
It's so
Don't
explosive
say-
that everything has stopped working.
It's all
The
Mia's
Danielle
fault.
Palladino
Okay,
episode.
John, I think we're fixing to cut on.
Intro over.
And,
It's
No,
when
not
she
Lane yet.
oh
it's when her
no.
back is to us a little bit.
No.
you might not be
no,
on the
no,
next
no.
scene.
I think
I don't think you're on the right
hold on.
episode.
Yeah, that's totally wrong because we're on the Jeep with the girl.
Yeah, I think it's
They're
jumped the
sitting
whole
outside
scene
of
for you.
Oh my gosh, please pause.
What
your
is
episode.
happening?
This
I
kid
just
is
saw your name on the
unbelievable.
screen, but
Did we pause?
Un-
Okay, I'm paused at
Freaking
4 minutes.
unbelievable.
We're all
back.
paused. Yeah, I'm paused
Pause
at
on the
4
video.
exactly. Do you
I'm
want
paused.
one of us like
John, this is
to
really.
to set
Oh
it
my
up?
god,
I
it
can
actually
set it up in
jumped.
a different room.
I feel
so
bad. I can't believe this. This is unfreaking believable. The DVD is not working. It's not
no.
working.
Do
No.
one
What
of
you get for talking bad
Stars
about my
Hollow-
DVDs.
The town elders do not want you to watch the finale.
I guess
I
not.
think it's just
I have
meant
like
to
a
be
s-
that we watch it on a Friday night.
I have a small suggestion for the DVD that has always worked for me. if you have some white vinegar and like a paper towel, if you get the paper towel with like a little bit of white vinegar and kind of very carefully go around the DVD, and then it will dry really fast, and then you put it in the DVD player. For some reason, that always works for me.
Oh, good. What happened
What
to
is
the, I was,
happening? Is Babsy watching on the app?
No, Babsy's not here. She's walking the dogs.
Oh. Could you try the app? It's not as
No, I
good
mean,
of an
it's-
experience, but
No, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's the internet connection that is not working.
yeah.
Yeah. And now Instagram Live's internet connection just went out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to go on to the, all right, we're going to.
I mean, we can hear you decently on the phone.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go upstairs. And we're going to try this from
The computer
my computer, which is in fact connected,
hardwired.
hardwired. So we should be able to be good with that at least.
It's not as comfy as sitting on the floor, huh, John?
Yeah. I am not recording this, so we will not be. I will not be recording this episode. If Mary is recording it, fantastic.
Well, Alan
Otherwise,
is
don't
down
have
there. I
to.
saw
Yeah.
I saw him earlier. Well, yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
I don't see Mary, but I do see Alan.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! As if tonight wasn't already chaotic, I just spilled like water all over myself trying to get my my cup.
I think for many of us, this night have been kind of chaotic. Oh my goodness.
Okay. I usually am like, oh man, this whole thing about like internet snags, this hasn't happened. Is this really worth me mentioning in the preamble? Yep.
Apparently,
5 days
so.
in a row now, John. 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I feel you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was in the middle of my class when we were distant learning and my internet goes out and I would, oh my God. It is.
Okay.
Poor
All
Mary. This is going to be a fun one for her to figure out where it starts. Maybe we should.
Okay, so
tell her
everybody is paused. Where would you say is the best place for us to start?
I would say right after the 4 minutes exactly.
4
I'm
minutes
at
exactly.
I'm at 3:56.
We could start right after the intro. Either
Let's start
do
right after the intro. Let's start right after the intro.
I think that makes
is 4:40, or I'm sorry, 3:40.
3:40.
3:40.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. We are starting right after the intro. I'm seeing special guest star Matt Sufri. We are ready to go.
All right. Third time's the
one
charm.
This should be
We can
fun.
do it.
All right. And we are, I'm sorry, let me do the 1, 2, 3.
I was about to like stress out. I was
Yeah.
like, wait.
I'm sorry. All right.
You cannot stress me like this.
Special guest star Matt Sufri. That's what I'm seeing on screen. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sebastian Bach is in this episode. That I can see.
And so are you. Your name is
There's Todd. Where am I? There I am.
Right
Yay! There you are.
You got your single card again.
We promise this episode is worth all this, John. We promise.
How many have we lost? Let me see how many people we've lost. Oh my gosh, we actually haven't lost anybody.
They're sticking with us.
We're all in this together.
We gained quite a couple people.
I'm a fan of their coats. These are some of my favorite coats besides the
Why not?
Shawnee, you're in mute.
Oh my goodness, Rory.
It was Rory's idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this the bicycle race episode?
It is. I forgot
Yeah.
that was this episode.
I love this.
I remember that.
You know what, Taylor? I like to smack. Oh my.
Oh yeah,
Lily's
Ken
that.
Taylor gets so annoyed.
Smack him so hard he'll go fully bald.
If he
Tow
would have
truck
just let
driver.
her walk, he would have saved that.
This is where the sort of best friend as a
Whoa.
mom thing doesn't totally work that well.
And she just assumes things. She just admitted she doesn't know it. Yeah, that's the court.
I'm so glad we're not taking a hiatus this week.
Not true. Took the cornstarch.
I was gonna.
Oh God, I want one of those donuts.
I know those donuts look so good.
Those donuts are good. I ate some of those donuts. Not that day, but I
Are they
definitely
Krispy
ate.
Kreme? They look crispy.
Yeah, those are crispy.
Oh, the best.
Yum.
I've never had a Krispy Kreme. We don't have that here.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I have a
there's
free
nothing
birthday
better than
dozen I still need to do with.
nothing better than a nice warm Krispy Kreme donut just coming off the assembly.
Oh yeah, just shove the whole thing right in. Melts.
I have a
used to
box of Walmart imitation that's plain maple and chocolate.
I used to make donuts for a living.
We should have done a donut night tonight. Missed opportunity.
Donut night could be any night.
True.
I haven't had donuts in a long time. But Krispy Kreme sound really good right now.
That's basically how I felt last night.
I love that Kirk's now a tow truck
I
driver.
love this.
Kills me.
Yeah, like would he need a CDL for that? Some sort of training, anyways.
And most tow truck drivers, they can drive without, with just like a regular license.
Yeah, I just asked my
Should we
husband.
be
He
worried?
said either.
And she snapped back into reality.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of that's great. This kind of reminds me a little bit of when Rory went to New York and how that kind of also sort of.
Yeah.
Anyone else
Girl.
wondering what Kirk was going to do with those pirate hook looking things?
I'm gonna try. I love this song so much.
Oh yeah, such a good song.
So good.
Is that
All such a
y'all's
great-
house right behind it?
Yeah, that's ours. I'm sure we're gonna go in there right now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you're alive.
Oh,
Hey,
you
the
got a little
blazer.
jacket.
You know what? That actually looks fantastic.
Blazer. My sister had that dresser growing up, and I think my niece has it now in her house.
Oh, the gold blazer.
That's the second sort of like anti-women type of joke so far in this book.
You ever been an actual receptionist, Joe?
I was a host at a restaurant. That's probably the
Not the
closest.
same.
I mean, you answer phones. You answer
Not the
phones.
same.
No,
Not the same. Restaurant versus ad.
I could hear
I worked
Brian
very
crunching his
briefly as
cereal.
Absolutely. I wonder how many like shots they took to get that picture perfect.
Something that I find kind of interesting, on the Remarkist app, in one of the polls, there was a poll about favorite Gilmores, and Rory did miserably, was the furthest down the list of favorite Gilmores by the community, but by far.
You can't
Am I?
pick more than one option. Is my
Right.
There's another
Maybe
poll
that
on
was what
there.
maybe that's what it was.
That's a good thing to not pick more than one option though, because then you get the real feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I guess my question is, like, does the fandom kind of not like Rory? Or
I didn't even vote.
She's kind
Have
of the
problems.
worst.
I mean, no.
I don't.
Oh,
I
that
think
is
that it gets worse as it goes on, and especially after a year in the life. But yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the tone of our conversation last night. It's sort of there was an undertone of we'll talk about it afterward. I'm liking Logan more and more.
What did he do?
Well, Logan has both of his hands, so
So far.
so I was wrong.
And Brian's head is being kept on by the blaze.
Wait, did I hear my name?
No.
Okay, good, because y'all know when the episode's on, I'm in.
You're all in.
Now for Lorelai.
He is so serious.
Yep.
Sorry to ask, because I know that this is a dumb question, but what part are y'all on?
Rory Chang, Logan.
Right after the
what happened?
you have to tell me.
Rory
Logan's
telling
hugging her.
Logan to stand.
Ah,
They're
okay.
hugging it out
Right
They're
after
hugging it.
you have to tell me why we're committing a felony.
because Carl didn't pause.
Carl. We paused like 3 times.
You just answered why I didn't pause. I paused 3 times though.
Big hole.
Big hole.
Big
Big
hole.
Big hole.
Big hole.
You need a big hole memento or a t-shirt.
This story is hilarious.
Yeah. Big hole.
What is that woman wearing? She's
Cycling
got like an
outfit.
athletic turtleneck with like a blue sports bra over it.
Lily, don't diss the turtleneck woman.
I have
She
no
been
No,
through
idea
it.
That sports bra. She is
That was
so
very
wrong.
popular in
That green
2005
outfit behind Luke that was
Tire.
the green outfit behind Luke is
Look at her hair. Her hair's even worse. She has like what's her name from Scooby Doo hair.
hey,
Vilma from Scooby-Doo.
we do not clown on
Are you
Velma.
talking about Thelma? Yes.
We do not make fun of her. She's the best character.
She's got her hair.
Oh my gosh, it's just so horrible.
Why aren't they riding their bikes?
Does Lorelai not know yet that he's buying this thing?
Nope.
Nope.
And the bike's a bike race that starts and ends in Stars Hollow.
Okay, John, were the fries good?
Oh, I was gonna ask that.
I hope them flat fries slapped.
I feel like they were probably cold.
The subway out.
Boned, he says.
I think he said bummed, but yeah, it's.
No, he said boned. I just got boned.
He said
Oh
boned.
man. I don't have subtitles on. Which reels was the gold jacket?
Man, I am wearing a lot of makeup.
Are you?
Look at your eyes.
Oh my gosh, you are.
Oh, that blood.
Yes. My face is just
You have some pretty eyes.
The blush and the glove.
I mean, the blush looks good. Nice and fresh.
I mean, there really is a little bit of blush on there, I think, or something.
It looks like it.
It's
Or you're just
really
naturally like very
Or are you just really excited because
I
you get to
think
keep
we
the
might
blade?
have the same lip gloss on too.
No, I don't think I have blush on. I don't think they did that. I think that might just be I have a little flush cheeks, but I definitely am wearing lip gloss. There's no question about it.
Lip gloss?
Yeah.
Or lip, like some sort of a lip something to like,
Maybe chapstick. I don't think that's
You
gloss.
definitely have some pinky
Like a
eyeshadow
balm?
too.
No, they would put a little bit of like Carmexy type thing on
lip
a
balm.
on a Q-tip, and then they would give that to me.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than lip gloss, but more of a balm type of situation.
Yeah, like it was greasy.
For sure.
Some
As Gina
balm.
would say, dirty.
I love Christmas.
Anyone else who's seen Grey's Anatomy, this scene give them like Christina Yang getting all those like baskets.
That would be the most amazing gift ever.
That's some expensive stuff.
Most places, it's kind of unethical to take gifts like that.
True. Ethics. They're so much fun. I don't have any links for these.
Man, they really used George in a lot of this season.
George
So-
is like the only professor.
Who is he like in real life? He's been mentioned a lot, but like I feel like
Oh,
I
he
just don't know
was
who
he was the dialogue coach on set. He
Oh.
was the on-set dialogue coach, so he made sure
Cool.
that we got our lines right.
Well, I mean, think about it. He's her English or something journalism.
Yeah, who's Mike Armstrong in real life?
Hey Lily, what you eating?
Oh my oh my god.
I just assumed that was
Here.
John.
I'm over here
I did too.
crunching so loud.
I assumed it was John. too.
You bring enough for everyone?
Got some good crunching
just-
going on.
It's just barbecue chips, guys. There's a picture of a naked baby on that wall.
The kids.
That shut him up real quick.
She should have made that baby the last couple episodes ago or whatever that was. John, you
I
would have
love
missed a
this
lot
scene.
if we went to this scene.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean the DVDs, Beth, are worthless. I mean, absolutely worthless.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
like
that
20
Lorelai's-
minutes in.
You
Isn't
have to.
that Lorelai's dollhouse?
I was gonna say that, yes.
It's gotta be. That looks just like it.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened
Yeah.
yet, guys.
Oh. They haven't showed her
It
bedroom.
doesn't look
Yes,
as
they
big
have.
as
We
Laura.
saw it in season 1.
You want to know
In her
what's so
bedroom.
crazy? You want to know what's so funny? I didn't know how we really got to the end of the band storyline in this episode because I didn't read or hear this scene ever between the two of them, and now I'm like,
It's such.
Watch.
I
It's so great. It's like one of my favorite Mrs. Kim storylines.
mine too. And she's so.
There's
This
this
is Kim.
storyline and one she has with Zach that I think are the best.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Mrs. Kim is the moment. She is the
Oh, I hate that line.
This scene is so hard to watch.
Okay, but my favorite part of this scene is Rory saying Yale was expensive and Lorelai says, "Are you paying?" That's hilarious.
Yeah, see, Carl, Lorelai wants her to use her privilege there. Since she's not paying for it, she should just waste her time if that's what she feels like she.
Maybe so.
Although I don't think she'd be wasting.
The stunt coordination on that, I can only imagine, was tricky.
That was amazing.
The biking scenes in this episode are just
That font. Oh my gosh.
That really tiny font, I think, is stock market.
Yep, that's what it is.
Hey, it's that dress I love again.
Didn't she already try to tell them about this?
Yep.
She did, and they didn't believe her.
What is
Just pull-
the
he just
checkbook
pulls
gonna
out his
do,
check.
Richard?
He just pulls his checkbook out.
I think he's making notes.
Yes.
I don't think I
I
ever
thought-
noticed that, but like, what is that gonna solve?
It's like, yes, Richard, $1,000 to God or something like what?
It
I
works
think
for
he's. I think
everything
he's
else.
taking
Yeah, it's
notes.
not a checkbook.
I think
guys,
it's a
notebook.
notepad.
Oh my gosh, it is. Yeah.
Just keeps a little notepad in his pocket. I do like that dress.
She looks terrified.
And we made it at the house look terrified.
That's
Into it.
I would say that's the most memorable maid that we've had in the
For
whole
sure.
series.
They all look scared.
Not all of them. There's been a couple of very competent ones.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This man is like, what do I do?
The hug is sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, I have
This is a
comments
lot.
on this scene after.
Yeah.
Oh.
oh my gosh, that was adorable.
Adorable.
You're wearing Alden's shirt again.
What is
Maybe-
happening with this zebra print like sheet?
This thing is so
The
funny.
curtain. Maybe they got it in the clearance bin.
That
Well,
was
how
aggressive.
Come on, Mrs. Kim.
That was an angle in the kitchen we had never seen.
Sauce.
Why does she look like she has lipstick on or something? Like her lips are very red.
Who, Mrs. Kim?
Yeah, maybe not in this angle, but like, yeah.
Well, earlier in the episode, I thought that Brian was wearing chapstick.
We talked about that.
Ooh.
It's a level.
I love how he owns the sub shop and he's the deliverer. That's true. I didn't think about
Sounds
that.
about right.
I always wondered why that was the
Small
DIY,
business owners
baby.
do a lot of different jobs.
Exactly,
Prince
Sarah.
preference.
Yeah, that's true.
Mrs.
Look,
Kim,
Mrs.
knowledge
Kim
of
now.
everything.
My absolute favorite, Mrs. Kim.
Is it the first time we ever see the back door?
This is where we took that photo that's around. Some people use it as their profile picture.
I like that shirt of yours there, John.
That's Luke's garage right there where the boat was.
You know, this really is a nice shirt that Brian is wearing.
Did you guys see Brian kick the
Why
ground
did
when
you
she
just
said Lane
kick
rides
the
up front?
ground?
He wanted to first see.
Did you see the picture I posted with my baby like a few weeks ago when he wore that shirt? And
Yes.
this is my baby had the same shirt
So cute.
around the same time.
I love how happy Lane is. I love that dress, but not what it means.
Me
I
too.
think it's a little too deep V'd.
That's
Leave her alone.
she looks fabulous.
I like how they
Oh.
match. They kind of coordinated.
Oh,
John's there.
Oh boy, so
I
hard.
thought she was
Oh, I
passing
hate
out.
This is not breaking. Oh my God. This whole thing. Oh.
Look how concerned Emily looks.
And her hair's not as big either.
Man, this is going to create a massive rift.
Massive.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Very much.
Rightfully so.
I love the song.
Me too.
Yes,
So
this
sad.
song fits so perfect right here.
It's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Bette Midler sang it in Beach.
Yes, and I cry every time.
Me
I've got it
too.
on my Spotify.
More bad decisions.
Beaches is actually my mom's favorite movie.
Whoa, that was kind of intense. Doesn't even come out to say hello to her.
Mm-hmm.
No,
You can see
John.
the hurt in her eyes. So heartbreaking.
It's no.
Six-year-old.
All right, let's pay attention.
Ugh. I love this kind of neurotic love that Luke has.
Yeah, me too.
Neurotic love, you know. What?
There it is.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
Whoa.
Shazam!
And to celebrate, everybody harvester.
Oh, dang.
I swear I reserved to harvest, but it's not there, and I don't know.
I don't know, he's a friend.
I hate when I do that.
Oh my.
But you know, that's like my favorite ending for that because you know, bomb just drops and then just silence, no music, no.
Nothing. It's just like it's like it's not even a fade out. That's just a cut. Like cut.
It's a cut. It's abrupt. I told you that there were 3 bombs, John, and you have successfully seen the 3 bombs of season 5. How do you feel?
That was intense. I did not see that coming.
Do you understand the love-hate for this episode now?
Oh wow. But he didn't answer her.
Well,
What the hell?
John,
Season 5 is the
It's,
best.
yep.
The
He's gonna say
cliffhanger.
no.
That's the
Can
cliffhanger.
you imagine watching this on air and that's
All
the
right.
end, and you have to wait like
3
All right, forget
months.
People are dying
Yeah.
to hang out with us. Let's get them up here.
I watched it live.
Let's talk about this.
Me
This
too.
absolute insanity.
It was a good time.
Wow.
Guys.
You didn't
So-
like that, John.
I'm telling you, like, to get into Gilmore Girls at season 5 and then to have that be the season that you start the show with, that's a good season.
No,
Is
it
that
starts
how-
the
is
show
that where
on
you start?
season 5.
I started on season 5 because I was like 12 when season 5 was out.
4.
Regina.
Wow.
I
I'm gonna say
It all
my.
makes sense
I'm gonna
now.
say. I'm gonna.
I
All
turned
right,
it back to
everybody.
11th line.
Okay, I'm gonna say my an unpopular opinion. I think Lorelai was stupid.
For what? For what exactly?
Okay, so I kind of told this to Charlie as a person who dropped out of college, because they didn't know what they wanted to do and they don't want to waste their time in college just taking classes when there was nothing appealing. I said, well, considering I dropped out of college, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. And if someone wants to take some time off and figure out what they want to do, I feel like they have that choice. And I think that's like, that's honestly what college is for, to like see what you want to do. And I think it's perfectly normal if someone wants to take time off. I mean, it's a little weird and strange in Rory's situation because she's a person who just loves school, as I do. But I feel like it's not that big of a deal. And the fact that Lorelai went cuckoo banana and kind of said that, like, you're not dropping out when it's not really her decision. Rory literally was just telling her, not asking her if she could. And so I feel like Lorelai kind of went too far as to say like, oh, like you're not coming home, you're not like working at the bookstore, blah 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 and stuff like that. I think she should have been a little bit more understanding the fact that, yeah, like Mitchum kind of threw her for a loop and like Mitchum was right. But if Rory feels like she wants to figure out what she wants to do, I don't think dropping out of college instead of wasting time at college and wasting money is the right thing. I feel like she should have supported her.
Jason's only comment
I
to that was
agree
that
with
this
that.
is what happens when you're a friend and not a mother first.
Right.
That's what I said earlier in the episode. I said the friend mother thing does not work well in this particular situation. Tasha, you and I often don't align on our opinions
Not really.
of certain aspects, but here I think we're aligning more than we have so far in the watch. I'm sort of the same opinion. I feel like, what's the big deal? Like she wants to take a year off. Like, I mean, that happens all the time in university settings and
college is always there.
I can actually play devil's advocate for both sides of these coins, because when I was younger, I left college. I was very close to graduating. I was 6 months away from getting married. We broke up. I broke down, left school. I never wound up going back. My son turned around and decided he didn't want to go to school. And I was along the lines of, my life has been on hold for 20 years because I can't do what I was trained to do because of health issues. I didn't finish college, so I can't do, nobody's really gonna hire me for anything that's worthwhile. And when I turned around to him and told him that he needs to do something, figure out something positive, it's, you don't just want, you're not just going to sit around and do nothing. Now, Rory is in her first couple of years of school. She doesn't have to go for major classes. She could do regular liberal arts, get the stuff she needs for at least the associate's degree, and not worry about what the other thing is going to do. Just dropping to drop. She dropped it because of Mitchum. She didn't do it because she didn't know what she wanted to do. She knew what she
decision.
Oh, I agree. I agree. She dropped for Mitchum.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, she dropped for Mitchum. But I think that taking a year off could actually help her gain some perspective.
But I don't.
And
But
realize
she didn't say a year off. She just said she wasn't going back next year.
But Richard said it. He said she's going to take a year off.
That's his plan for her.
That's
right.
his plan for her. That's not.
But my assumption was that we heard a conversation that there was a conversation that we didn't actually hear between Rory and Richard. That was part of the condition of her moving into the pool house.
I don't know.
Can
if it
I
was a
say
condition
something
of
about
going into the pool house, though? I think no matter what, she was good. They didn't want her to move in with Logan, and Lorelai said no. I don't think it was conditional.
I don't know. That was just the way that I interpreted it, was that they talked about something, and that what he told Lorelai, which was that she's taking a year off, that was part of the conversation that they had. Now it's possible that they had that conversation and Rory is not intending to actually only take a year off, but my sense is that he didn't just pull that out of nowhere, that was at least discussed between him and Rory. And, you know, whether she believes that she will go back or not, you know, taking that year off, it could be good for her if she does decide that she wants to go back. I don't know if she will, but
Very true.
Kelly
wanted to say
something.
something.
I think that it could. I get. I mean, essentially, Sherry, you're arguing for the parents' perspective in all of this, and that is totally fair. I think that, like, you know, this is what I meant when I said that this episode shows how the mother as a best friend thing cannot work sometimes,
Right.
because Lorelai wants to be a mother here. She wants
But I also can advocate on the kid, because I didn't go back either. I left.
Right.
So
yeah.
I know what it feels like. I know what Rory, you know, was thinking, and I know what Lorelai's feeling. I think it's kind of an interesting.
Sorry.
That's okay.
By the way,
say,
Beanbag folks, thank you so much, Beanbag folks, for your patience tonight with this episode. One thing that I have realized is that the internet was absolutely perfect up here in my office, and it's the same internet, so it's got to be my router. So
I think
Kelly wanted to say something.
Anyway.
I'm sorry, but I really need to jump in on the best friend mom thing because it's so personal.
Well, wait, hold on one second. Was there somebody that was speaking before? I think Lee was speaking. Lee, were you going to change to a new topic or?
No, I was staying on this topic.
Same.
Okay, great. So then, Lee, why don't you go, and then after, who was it that wanted to speak about the personal?
It was me.
Wendy.
Kelly also
why
wanted to speak too.
So why don't we go?
Me too.
Why don't we go Lee, Wendy, and then Kelly?
Can I jump in too here, Hunter, after that?
Yes, and then Hunter. Yep.
It's Kelly. I'm okay. Don't worry about me.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'll try to keep this as short as possible. I just there's two aspects that I think are really important to remember when we're looking at, oh, well, was Lorelai right? Was she overreactive? I think we have to remember that Lorelai was someone who was forced to leave school before she could finish. Not forced as such, but she became pregnant, and her choice wasn't really a choice. She had to leave school in order to raise Rory. And then she's raped. So that's, as she is not the same circumstance in the sense of university, but in the sense of she was forced out of education, and she knows that life gets in the way of you going back, even if that's your intention. So to take time, no matter how well intentioned the time off is, can be very disruptive because you don't know what's going to happen in that year. And then
That's a great point. And that speaks to essentially what Sherry is saying.
Yes, exactly. I was like nodding. I love listening to Sherry speak, and I was just nodding my head along.
Yeah.
So, and I think the second point is, so she took that time out to have Rory and then raise Rory, and exactly what she was saying to her in the entire conversation was, I know you since you were 3 years old. This has been your ambition. This has been your goal. You've been working towards it. And I think one of my favorite lines is when she says to Richard and Emily, she should be stronger, but she's not. She's young, and we have to be strong for her. And I think it's just, she just knows Rory so well, and she knows that this is exactly what she wants. And it's not coming from a place of, oh, I'm lost. I don't like school. I don't think this is my goal anymore. It's not that, because Rory loves education and she loves this path that she's on. And anyone else who's ever come up against her to go, oh, you want to do journalism? She's gone, yes, I do. Thank you very much. So like,
where are you
she
from?
knows.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm from Ireland.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know my accent's a bit all over the place, but yeah, I'm Irish. Hey, is there another Irish person here?
Lee, that's all solid. That makes a lot of sense. I would just, the only thing that I would sort of push back on is the very fact that this was something that she's always wanted, and that was so deeply a part of who she was. I feel like Lorelai could trust that a bit more, because if it truly is what she really was meant to be and meant to do, then I think she'll find a way back. You're all giving examples, or Sherry gave a really good example, and that the Lorelai example is a great one of how life can sort of derail things, you know. But I've known people really scholastic, intelligent people who took a year off and it was good for them, you know. So I think that it can work. I don't know, but they're all good points. It's true. You know, looking at it from the perspective of a mother who's just worried that her daughter could follow the same path that she had, which she clearly doesn't feel satisfied with, I guess.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say about this that made everything happen the way it happened for the finale is that Lorelai's way with dealing with what was going on with Rory was kind of more of a punitive step, while like with the grandparents, they were more open to listening to Rory and what was going on with Rory, and wasn't rejecting like the people that Rory is getting acquainted with and stuff like that. So that's why I understood why Rory went to the pool house with the grandparents instead of go back to Stars Hollow with her mom.
Yeah. Wendy, you wanted to add something about the relationship between mother and daughter, I guess. Is that
yeah. I mean, I heard that the whole thing about that's when being a friend doesn't work. And I didn't really see Lorelai as getting into parent role necessarily. I saw her getting into control mode, because there's so many aspects of parenting. And example, my daughter didn't want to go to college. I was mad because she was a straight A student, but hands off, you know, I wanted to do the mother thing, but you let back a little bit and you let them make their own decision. That's still parenting, but it's parenting in a hands-off way. And I think there's this blur there that we're thinking, okay, Lorelai and Rory are best friends, so she's never going to pull the mom card. She just pulled it way too heavy-handed. And so I think that was more than not just being a mom, but being a controlling mom.
Well, I'll say this. I actually wasn't even referring to Lorelai. I wasn't saying that I think that this is where the mom as best friend doesn't work. Maybe I shouldn't say doesn't work. Has its obstacles, has problems. I was actually saying it because of Rory. Because the way that Rory was behaving after that, being picked up from the precinct, was very much like, I'm with my best friend, you know what I mean? Who should totally understand that I want to answer this call right now, and I'm going to talk to my boyfriend and all that kind of stuff. And Lorelai was trying to speak to her as her mother, and she just wasn't hearing it.
I got you. So from the reverse direction, yeah.
Yeah, I actually, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of problem with Lorelai in this episode, the way she was behaving. I can see how it would be a little bit controlling, but I think that, you know, it's reasonable. Her daughter was arrested, you know. I think that it's like that she would be completely freaked out, and I just thought that Rory's behavior was sort of like
kind of rebelling because she's not used to having.
Yeah,
she also didn't think it was that big of a deal either.
It was also like a reaction, like it was a shock. It really was a shock for her to pick up her daughter, and then also within that time frame, I'm sure it was like less than 48 hours later, her daughter's talking about, oh, I'm not going back to Yale and all this stuff. Like, those are two big shockers for Lorelai to receive from Rory. As we've seen in the series, Rory has been this girl that abides by rules and listens to adults and things like that. I mean, Mitchum even called her out for it. That's why he said, I don't think you got it, kid. And in that scene where he was waiting for her to pitch in, she's like, I didn't know if I could. She's always been that person that has waited on the cue of other adults. And that especially goes with Lorelai as well. Like, yeah, they'll have fights here and there, but you know, Lorelai's used to Rory, you know, following what needs to be followed. So to have to pick her up from jail for stealing a boat and then having her say, oh, I'm not going to Yale, before the whole concept of a gap year even being a popular thing as it is today was even not a popular thing at that time. It's like, girl, what are you doing? It was all like a reaction to shock, which is why like I see that Lorelai handling the thing comes off as controlling and punitive, because, you know, most times that's what people do when they're in shock.
Yeah, I think that you would. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the gap year being more popular now. I guess it kind of is. I
didn't see it in movies and TV shows. I didn't start hearing about it till the 20s.
I think it's
There's a movie called Euro Trip.
acceptable, but I think there's still some sort of taboo connected to it.
Yeah, it's very much. I think it was taboo in the 2000s than it is now.
I didn't find I didn't find the idea that Rory would want to take a year off as a big deal. I actually think it could be good for her. I think I definitely began the episode thinking that Lorelai was in the right for feeling the way that she felt, and that Lorelai was trying to be a mother, but that she had spent so much time sort of making her daughter feel like she's her best friend and only her best friend, that Rory could behave the way that she was behaving after she picked her up from the precinct, which I just thought was a little weird, you know. Like, I thought that it was odd that she, you know, wants to pick up that call, and Lorelai's like, you just got arrested, man. Like, it just felt, I felt like, you know, like I thought it was interesting, right? Logan is picked up by his best friends. He's not picked up by his parents. He's picked up by his best friends. And Rory could have, by the way, been picked up by them if Lorelai hadn't come. And I sort of think that in Rory's eyes, she was picked up by her, Finn, and Colin, in Lorelai. And Lorelai is not thinking like that. Lorelai is really, really freaked out about the fact that her daughter was in jail, and what this means about, you know, what this means you know, in regards to her future and what she's doing and what the road that she's on. There was somebody that wanted to speak after. It was well, Kelly, you said so it's going to Hunter.
Okay, this storyline hits really, really close to home with me. I am very close with my daughter. We are best friends. She is right now finishing up her a summer course with Cornell, and she's going to be a senior next year. So like, this is really, really hitting home with me. She also, P.S., just got her information packet from Harvard over the weekend, early admitted.
Nice. Congrats.
However, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go to college next year. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, she wants to take some time off.
How do you feel about that?
I was a little surprised, because she's very, very smart, and she has all these colleges sending her packets and everything, wanting her to apply early, and she just doesn't want to. But, you know, I'm her mom and I'm her friend. And if that's what she feels like she needs because she isn't ready, then I have to support her in that. But she's doing that from a place of she doesn't feel ready, not because someone has intimidated her and she's backing out of it. That's a different story. You know,
so if that was the story, how would you approach it? Would you approach it more from the perspective of a mom, or would you approach it more from the perspective of a best friend? What if your daughter? What if you had to deal with what Lorelai dealt with tonight, picking up your daughter from the police station because somebody intimidated her so much that she did something stupid like that?
Speaking of, there's sirens coming from someone.
That's my neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I totally feel for Lorelai in this, because my kid is kind of like a Rory. She's very smart, but very timid, and she can be intimidated by things, you know, easy. And I could totally see this happening to her, and her just wanting to just stop and quit. I think, you know, I would definitely tell her she needs to finish this year and go back and take that test she didn't finish, but I would want her to at least wait a month or two before she made that decision. She does have the summer to make that decision, so she needs to sit on it for a minute. And we also have to remember, Rory is in Yale, and this was the early 2000s. Taking a gap year was kind of taboo, and also it's Yale. You can lose your spot at an Ivy League school. Granted, she has grandparents who can kind of, use money to grease the wheels and get her back in if they need to, but there are limited spots, even if you are already a student. So her taking time off, she could potentially not go back. And for something as dumb as this, just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I would just tell her to sit on it for the summer and then make her decision later.
If I may, could I bring in like a college student's perspective on this?
Please.
Yes.
So this past year, this was like my sophomore year, I'm going into my junior year now. With the pandemic and everything, like moving everything to online, like I genuinely struggled. And there have been times where I thought like I should take a gap year. Like that's come into my mind quite a lot, more like than I would initially think, right? And because I struggled with my classes, they were more pertaining to my major, which was political science. I was also starting to, have a moment of crisis, right? Like maybe this is not what I should study. Maybe this is what I'm not cut out for. And so because I had parents who were like Lorelai, who didn't have the opportunity to go to high school, let alone finish, and let alone go to college, they instilled in me from a very young age that higher education was very important in order to succeed in life. I feel like Rory, is in a lose-lose situation here, because if she stays at Yale, if she stays, and from the scene that we've witnessed with her, I don't know if it was like her final or something, it was an exam of sorts, she seemed very distracted, she seemed very out of it. So if she continues at Yale, right, like in this like clouded headspace where she's having this crisis of conscience, like
disconnected.
Rory may not actually be intending to take a year off. She may be just like intending to just not go back to Yale. But in my mind, and certainly, like I said, from a narrative perspective, I'm seeing this as our character needs to sort of find herself. She's like in this like wandering through this sort of dark part of the story world. And she's trying to find her way out. And for me to really be invested in her finding her way out, I'm crossing my fingers that she finds her way out because I care about the character. I do need to see her at this sort of dark low spot.
That's fair. That's about 50% of what I was going to say, but my hotel connection sucks. So I think I'm going to throw it into the.
Do you have data? Do you have data?
No, the data doesn't work either. I'm like in a part of Indiana so. But yeah, no, the hotel Wi-Fi sucks and my connection isn't any better, so I apologize. But I've really enjoyed hearing everybody, and it's obviously something that is close to a lot of people here, and I really enjoyed hearing everybody's perspective.
Also, just from the perspective of like just education in the United States, it's got, her character obviously comes from privilege, has her education being paid for. I don't know the nuances of the higher education system in Canada, but in the United States, it's a hot button topic.
I mean, yeah, that's why I thought that it was so funny that Lorelai said that Rory said Yale's expensive, and Lorelai said, "Are you paying for it?" That was that was a quick comeback right there, y'all. That was comedy gold right there.
Yeah.
Lorelai had to quit school, and here, because she was pregnant, I had to quit college when I got pregnant. And here's Rory just going to throw it away. It's awful.
Yeah.
Can I chime in for a second?
Oh wait, 1 second before you chime in. Ray Lynn has been flashing her mic for a while.
Oh my God, thank you so much. So I have actually a couple of things to say about this. Like, first of all, when Rory told Lorelai, she was pretty honest, right? Like, she basically said, like, You know, Mitchum said, I don't have it. And it's like, what's it? Like, what's it? Like, kid, you've got it, whatever, whatever. But we see that scene with Lorelai and Richard, right? And we don't see the whole thing, but we basically say like, oh my God, grandpa, like, oh, I'm so sad, whatever. But we clearly know that she didn't give him the full 411, right? Because we saw the scene at the USO ball when Mitchum and Richard are in the bathroom.
Stop.
Shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did I go too
No
far
problem.
ahead?
No spoilers.
Yeah, because because Raylan, I haven't seen the show. I haven't seen the series, even though I was in it. I've never seen it.
I'm wicked sorry. Okay,
you're so good.
So all right, at any rate, when Rory decides to like quit, she doesn't give Richard the full like, oh my God, Mitchum totally told me I don't have it, and they were terrible to me at the dinner, and yada yada. So that's like sort of the, you know, the thing. And then like again, people had said like Rory is super entitled, I guess, right? Like she's not paying for it, they're paying for it and whatever. And then somebody else said, because Rory has this huge like appetite for learning, and when she's sitting at the table with Lorelai and it's like, oh, I'm gonna quit, and Lorelai's like, oh my God, just go there, like, you know, take an oceans class, take a meteorology class, like, you know, do all that stuff. And I don't know if it's, I gotta like chalk it up to like shitty writing, and maybe it works itself out later on, but I just don't think that it's like intrinsically Rory to just like throw in the towel, right? Like, how hard did Paris beat on her, you know, during Chilton, and Francie was like whatever, and at every turn Rory figured out a way to like make it work. And now all of a sudden I just think it's so out of character for her to just go like, well, I don't have it, like, oh, that's it. I don't believe it. And as much as I love Gilmore Girls, and I honestly didn't realize that this was like a play-by-play room. But I didn't realize that I couldn't go a little further ahead. Like I didn't realize that we're at
Disconnected.
Make her own life choices, whether or not she sinks or swims. It's kind of on Rory, because this may counteract what I just said, but I think that's kind of the whole point about being young and being 20, because she was 20 at this point, to like make mistakes, and sometimes you kind of have to fall. And if we remember Rory's whole upbringing, regardless of like her mom or her grandparents or the town, really, she's always kind of had everything and anything that she wanted really handed to her without really a second glance, because it's like hitting, like Lorelai said at one point, it's like hitting a puppy with a rolled up newspaper. You don't want to tell her no. So everything she's had up until this point, it's been a yes or a maybe, or with some convincing, she's always gotten it. And so now Mitchum is telling her no for the first time, and there's no way around it. And now she's experiencing real life for the very first time. So yeah, she's freaked and she's spooked, and she wants to take a year off. And I feel like everyone's still trying to like baby her, and now she's experiencing real life for the first time. And I think that's what scares her, is like, holy crap, like I'm not getting everything I want. Nothing's really handed to me anymore. And so it's probably partly why she left. She wants to leave schools because no one's told me no before. And so
I have a question.
Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of that. And I have a question about Rory in general that I think I'm just starting to ask myself. How much of the like, how much of this does Rory really want?
I don't know, but I think that I Speaking of college and, going off of the series, I think I noticed that like Lane just kind of dropped the Seventh-day Adventist college, and like Mrs. Kim is still coming into her life. I don't know. I just realized that, thinking of like this episode and Lane and the band and Mrs. Kim and the Prince comments.
Oh, do you want to shift the conversation over to Lane and Mrs. Kim?
Yes.
Since we're talking about
If
college,
before
Just
Carl
very-
does it, I have a very last thought about this Rory, and because someone mentioned the whole Dean thing, and it sort of made me realize that in these two situations where Rory has decided to change her like life plans, and I do think that she wanted to go to Cheltenham, that she wants to go to Yale, but in these two situations, it was because of a man. Whether with Dean it was kind of like a positive thing because she liked him, and with Mitchum it's a negative thing because he made her feel like garbage. But
I love that.
like,
Interesting.
Rory was raised by a single mother, and like, yes, she had like Kirk and Luke and Maury from across the yard, but most of her life was very empty of like that kind of male
Of men.
energy. So
Yeah.
and so having any sort of thing, she's like, okay, I'm just gonna. This is making me feel like something I don't understand, so I'm just gonna like change completely and go back to something comfortable because I'm uncomfortable and I don't understand this.
I just feel like we've heard so many people on the show and in our rooms talk about like, this is who Rory is, that she's always been really like passionate about it and she really wants it and whatnot. And I'm just like, I'm almost feeling like I kind of need to watch this again from the beginning through the lens of how much of this how much of this is in Rory and how much of it is on Rory, is being put on Rory.
I would actually,
right?
It's called
Like,
being a people pleaser.
but
there's actually a line, if anyone can remember season or episode, there's actually a line to speak to exactly what you're saying, John, where Lorelai says to Rory, she says something along the lines of, I can't remember a time when we weren't talking about you going to Harvard at the time. And she actually says something along the lines of, I don't know if that came from you or if it came from me.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes, there's a line that is exactly that, because she says, from when you were a baby, we were putting you in like Harvard sweaters and stuff.
Yeah,
so
of course,
that
a baby's not
actually
gonna
a line.
a baby's not gonna be like, I want that Harvard sweater.
I'm so excited to go to Harvard. Now where are my
Right.
mushy peas?
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Okay, we've talked a lot on this. We're way over. Let's shift. Carl, do you want to take us into Seventh Day Adventist? It's so crazy because we're not doing a hiatus. So we're gonna literally come back tomorrow, and it's gonna be like we're back from the tour.
Well, I mean, you can make it a hiatus if you want to, John.
No.
We
We can't
pretend
make it a
we
hiatus.
took
I
a
mean, I
month
can't make it a
off.
hiatus because we already did put that in the calendar. But I have our calendar for the rest of the season lined up, and we're literally ending the season 2 days before I'm going to be on a plane to Germany. So
Okay. Stop in
Right.
Ireland as well if you want. We'll get coffee.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're going to be in Germany.
No, she
Or
says
you want
stop
me
in
to come
Ireland.
over in Ireland? You want me to
Yeah.
come
If you
over in
want to
Ireland?
pay for his plane ticket, yeah.
Germany to
Oh,
Ireland
we can
is
just
only
take
around
we can
20
just take one
euros.
of the.
So
We can just take one
It's
of those
cheap.
Ryanair flights. Those things are
yes,
like $1.
exactly. Ryanair, just hop on. Doesn't matter if you lose the lap.
I can't.
All right, Carl. hit it.
So I think just the biggest thing about the storyline is that it really showcases, how Mrs. Kim became Mrs. Kim, because Mrs. Kim has like some type of semblance of, I don't know. I just feel like in some way, shape, or form that like
She was
Mrs.
in the
Kim
girl
does.
tambourine band, Carl.
Yeah, like Mrs. Kim definitely has like this huge appreciation with music, which makes Lane a huge appreciation, like, a huge music person. Which I think this is kind of like more of kind of like the positive of like, okay, well, I was the mother, I took care of you and everything, but you still pulled some things from me. And it especially showed with like the Prince line, which we've all talked about, and the fact that she is helping Lane with, getting the band on with some touring gigs, basically being their manager. I really, really like that storyline. I love it so much because I'm able to see Mrs. Kim, I guess, like in a different shade of the same light, because it's still Mrs. Kim, of course, but it's just kind of a different bit of it. I really love it.
Yeah, I really love that. I really love that scene, and I love this whole storyline. And I remember a lot of what this all takes us into for season 6. Season 6 for the band, I feel like it might be the best season for the band.
100%.
I think I agree.
Because it's got the most drama. Like the band has always been just a fun little comedy bit, but this is where things are starting to, without doing too much spoiling. Yeah. I mean, we learn a lot about Mrs. Kim here.
It's so funny.
That scene, I just loved that scene between her and Lane. And I mean, I just like, it was so fun watching that and just hearing all of that for the first time.
It shows how much they've grown with each other. Like when you think of Mrs. Kim finding her CDs under the floorboards for the first time and kicking her out, versus now actively supporting her music career. It's beautiful.
Who wrote this episode?
Amy Sherman Palladino.
This was Amy. Yeah, the Prince line was just amazing.
I feel like if we go back to kind of what like Carl was saying, or even to like the whole college, Lane dropped out, which I think that's what happened. It just wasn't really a storyline. I think the reason why there's such a parallel between Lane dropping out of college and Rory dropping out of college is because Lane went from dropping out of college to going to pursuing something that she really wanted, which was the band. And so I think that's why Mrs. Kim probably didn't rain hellfire on her or get like the whatever person, priest, pastor person on her, is because she went on and pursued something that she wanted and still is being successful and has a job and stuff like that. Whereas Rory just flat out dropping out of college with no plan. So
I just wanted to say that I think it's interesting that throughout most of the series, you see that Mrs. Kim and Lane, she doesn't really have the support of her mother for like the things that she wants to do, but all through, the storyline, you see that Rory and Lorelai are pretty thick and she's really supportive of everything that Rory wants to do. And now you're seeing the opposite, where now Mrs. Kim is like supporting Lane, and even though she doesn't agree with it, she's actually like, okay, let's do this. And then you also have the opposite with Lorelai and Rory are now not in that place at all.
Totally. And also, going to this like mother as a best friend thing, how I was mentioning that, like, Lorelai is now having some like a little bit of stumbling blocks here. How much does she do the mothering here without being controlling? How much will Rory accept from her mother being a mother, and how much does she want? And we've come to sort of see Mrs. Kim as the like quintessential mother, right? Like she's like the strict, this is the way, my way or the highway, but her through past all of that, like, door slamming open and the vocal mannerisms and whatnot, Mrs. Kim is very much like a friend in this episode. She's not behaving like a mother. She's like behaving like kind of like their booking agent, but also kind of like a friend who's trying to help them.
I mean, she went from mom to momager in that regard.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it's interesting. It's just an interesting contrast between what we've come to expect as mother, as friend, you know, and how that's being, how we're seeing that, you know, in the context of Rory and Lorelai, and then, you know, mother, you know, the strict mother as mother being presented in a new light as something that, you know, even past all of the, like, you know, harsh tone and whatnot, is more French, is more like something that Lorelai would do.
It kind of, if I may, I mean, it kind of is also the same too, because Miss Kim is saying, no, you chose this path, you stick with it. So that's kind of what Lorelai was saying, but it didn't really work out that well with Rory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that, because it does kind of feel like a little bit of a parallel. Like Kim's don't give up. And then with Lorelai to Rory, it's like, this is what you've always wanted to do. So, but yeah, it does seem like it's definitely parallels of just switching. Like there's a lot of changes going on and changes happening, especially with Lane going to Mrs. Kim and saying, so I guess the band is over now. So, you know, if I can move back home and all this stuff, you know, like kind of a defeated thing. And Mrs. Kim was like, what are you doing? Just like this thing of shock, kind of like with Luke in the Twickham house. Like he's doing all of these changes and then he's frantically talking to Lorelai and saying, what about the kids? What kids? You know, like there's all these changes happening with the core characters that we've been following for, well, I guess for you, John, for a few months. For some of us, probably like for years, or like a couple of days. Yeah. And we're seeing these changes happen so fast, and just like people reacting to the changes of what's going on. Like, oh, wait, what? You're buying a house? What? You're quitting Yale? What? You're not going to be in the band? So it really is, it really was cool that Mrs. Kim had that response with Lane trying to change, and that Lane was open to that change, because she really didn't want the band to be over. She loved the band, you know, more than she loved hiding all those CDs in her room. But yeah, like I think that was the thing that was really cool with the storyline, and with Mrs. Kim just jumping on, being on board with it, and really kind of using all of her skills and her meticulousness with everything and applying it to, you know, what her daughter wanted. And I think that right there kind of makes it more of a mom thing, was that she really was doing that for her daughter. Like she saw her daughter come to her, you know, with her head down low and her shoulders, you know, all drooping and things like that. And she was like, no, we're not doing that. That's not what we do. And just coming in and just kind of like bulldozing through and be like, okay, we got a tour. We got 7-day Adventist churches all across the Eastern Seaboard, and just taking charge. I thought that was really awesome.
Well, another thing though that you actually just pointed out was the fact that, and I'd say it would be probably the biggest difference that I observed, at least, between Lane and Rory, or at least, you know, just based on what I'm starting to question, I guess. I'm not sure really, you know, whether this is true or not. But one thing's for sure is that Lane truly does want that. I don't think I think that's very, very, very clear that Lane really wants the band to succeed, and she just doesn't know how to. And I feel like the reason why Mrs. Kim does what she does is because she recognizes that in her daughter. Whereas if we sort of take this idea that a lot of what's going on between Rory and Lorelai is Lorelai wanting the prophecy to be fulfilled, my daughter is going to do what I couldn't do, then it is less about what Rory truly wants in that moment, and more about what Lorelai thinks she wants or what Lorelai thinks she should have. And I think that that's just like the main difference through all of the parallel, because I see all the parallels as well. I think that's one of the most awesome aspects of this this particular episode and of the the whole series when using the like Mrs. Kim versus Lorelai contrast.
I totally agree, and it's a motivation thing in a way too. Is I see Rory as a people pleaser in a lot of ways in her life, but Lane seems more, and not that she didn't want to please her mom, but because she said something before that she wanted to please her, but her first passion was music and being true to herself first, and now it seems like, okay, Mrs. Kim finally saw the passion and the drive, and nothing could, take her away from.
I definitely know for sure, from being on the show, but also more so now watching the show, how Amy feels about the Lane character's aspirations, musical aspirations, and love of music.
John, Lauren just sent me a message. Can I read what she wrote?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna make a few people moderators, and then I am going to skedaddle after that.
She said that no one actually says Rory is taking a year off. Richard said she'll be taking, quote unquote, some time off. And after a suitable amount of time has passed, they'll revisit the topic. It's bugging her that any specific amount of time is being tossed around.
Yeah.
It's true.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I was tossing that around. The person
Shame.
who has not seen the show 100 times. So I take full responsibility for that egregious
We love
behavior.
you anyway.
Wait, John, you don't want to talk about the Twickham house or the marriage
Or the
proposal before you go?
proposal.
Oh shoot. Yeah, we should probably spend a little bit of time on that. Well, the Twickham house, there wasn't a whole lot with the Twickham house. He bought the Twickham house.
Right, but then he revealed it to Lorelai in a really weird way at the end.
What about the kids?
Mhm.
See, they did talk about family.
Mm-hmm.
Blurted it out and then ran.
I don't know how I feel about that ending, to be honest.
Which
I don't
one?
know.
You mean the ending?
Yeah, the ending. Yeah.
The proposal.
Luke, will you
I'm
know?
gonna skip ahead to the proposal because I really will need to jump off because I want, believe it or not, I want to run to Target and try and get another router. Because I'm now pretty convinced that my router is garbage. I don't know how I feel about that ending. As much as I love Luke and Lorelai as a couple and am rooting for that relationship, this doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right that the proposal, not that it comes from Lorelai. I think there's something cool that it comes from Lorelai, but that it comes from Lorelai now at this sort of like all is lost moment feels a little disconcerting, to say the least.
Yeah, 100%. I'm 100% with you on that, John.
Do you think, I suppose one of my favorite parts of that scene is watching Lorelai's face as Luke rants, because you just see this realization of love and love she has for him and the love he has for Rory. And it comes from it seems to like bubble up from a very natural place. I do get 100% the timing is very strange and questionable. But yeah, I think even if you just rewatch that moment, I love watching Lorelai's face because you just see this love kind of come over her for him and the love he has for Rory.
Yeah. For me, that moment.
Are you able to hear me?
Now we are.
Mark?
So, sorry. Yeah. I don't think my internet connection is strong enough for an audio signal to maintain. But
Well,
John,
you
will
are
you
in-
look at Messenger and share what I sent you?
You are in Antarctica after all.
What? Yeah, it's been a while. If the audio keeps up, I want to say one tidbit, but
yeah, please
if
do. Please
if
do.
not, it's in Messenger.
Yeah, please.
So
please speak up.
something that people apparently don't remember this, but there was a timing code error on DirecTV's servers when this episode aired originally, and it cut off the final 20 seconds. So all of DirecTV's viewers did not hear
Oh,
the
yeah.
proposal.
Oh
What?
shit!
So
I
I
remember
called my
that.
friend.
Oh, I would riot.
Yeah. I called my friend in disbelief of what was going on, and she had no idea that there was a proposal at all. And I thought that was just a fun tidbit that people should be aware of.
Yeah, I remember that.
Amazing.
That is the number one reason why, like, I will never sign with DirecTV because of that moment.
Oh my god. Like every Gilmore Girls fan in the world is like going to boycott DirecTV like forever. Yeah, that moment, like for me, I like flashed through every like it was like one of these, like your life flashing before your eyes moment. Like as I suddenly kind of like I went back to like Max moments and that weird Christopher moment that Lorelai had in the diner where she told him that like he where she was finally over him, or the Max moment when she like comes into to Rory's room and she's crying. Like like that moment, this proposal. I mean, I get that it's I get that she loves Luke, and I know that what she's feeling there is love, but it falls into the same category for me. It feels like a bit like it's coming from a place of
She
what's the
just
word?
wants to be happy.
Yes,
She's
or
looking
that
at his face and seeing that him say that everything that he's saying shows how deeply he really feels for her daughter. And she realizes at that moment, he's exactly what I need. And he's going to be the one who actually makes me happy.
He's gonna have her back where her
I'm
parents
gonna
did.
cry in the chat, guys.
I'll give
yeah,
hugs.
I don't know. I mean, I get all that. I get all that. I just have worries. I got some worries
You've
going.
got
I don't know why.
qualms.
It just like I said, it just doesn't feel like it was the right time. And like I said, I put it into the same category as I put that scene where she walked in to the diner when he was freezing her out and she has that big monologue about how she just wants to be happy. I put it into the same category as Christopher and what she says to him, like a moment where Lorelai is sort of caught up in the emotion of the moment. One thing's for sure, it definitely has me eager to find out what's going to happen next.
Yes.
But not for a second do I think that they're getting married.
John! Oh my god.
Sorry, I mean,
Is there kernels for that?
I don't.
Well,
think
John
they-
owes me some kernels for that.
I mean, it just feels like, yeah, it feels like that's not gonna happen.
Well, you do think that you did say, I guess that she loves him.
I guess.
I guess there's
Yeah.
feelings there.
Oh, you have little faith, John. You're so cynical.
I mean, like I said, I'm rooting for that
teasing
relationship.
you. I'm totally teasing you.
No, but I am rooting for. Don't get me wrong. I am rooting for that relationship. I am rooting for it. I just don't think that it's time. Its time is now. and I've been saying this, for a while, like I need conflict in order to really enjoy my stories. So I want there to be some conflict between these two, and in order for me to care about them finally getting together, if they
That's
will ever.
twisted. I love it.
Well, that's like
I mean,
Jeannie,
with-
when Tony and Jeannie get married, it just ruins the whole thing.
we're talking about the same guy here that wanted Logan's hands to be sucked into the boat motor.
It's not that I wanted them. It's not that I wanted them. I just imagined that could potentially be what happens.
We believe you.
Hey, whatever gets the job
with
done.
this TV. He needs excitement with his TV shows. That's what's going on.
Well,
Fight,
not necessarily excitement. I just need a little bit of some obstacles. Otherwise, like, there's nothing to push against, right? There's nothing for me to be rooting for. It's like, oh, they're gonna get married, everything's gonna be nice, happily ever after. Well, then let's end the show here. What I want is some perseverance. I want them to push through that. And so that might also be why I'm interpreting that last moment a little bit more negatively. I don't know. One thing's for sure, I'm excited about diving into season 6.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I guess same.
Gee,
All right.
Carl.
Yeah, I
contain your enthusiasm there.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, I would like to get through the 2 seasons expedite.
Good night, John. Thank you for everything as always.
Thank you all, as always, for watching it with me. It's a blast. And again,
you,
I
John.
cannot thank you enough for sticking with me on what was easily the worst technical hiccup day.
And John, one last question. Do you
yeah.
think Marty's going to be in the revival?
God, I hope so.
Let's put some kernels on it.
God,
Let's put kernels on
God, I
that
hope
one.
so.
You
I
should
hope
celebrate
that
the fact
guy-
that Mia did not kill Brian at the end of season 5.
I hope that there's a scene.
There's still season
of a
6.
I hope there's a scene with a helicopter in the revival. A scene with a helicopter. It comes down. Who's that getting out of that helicopter? A door slides open. It's Marty
In sunglasses.
in sunglasses.
A la
Like-
Buffy. Was it Riley? Was it Riley,
That was-
her
that
boyfriend,
was-
who showed up in a helicopter after a season?
That was
Yeah, but that's for a
I think
different
so.
reason. That's very Romeo and Michelle, what he just described. And probably have a guitar too.
They have to be aviator shaped, though. Must
All right,
be.
everybody.
John
I'm
Okay,
off.
guys.
Night,
Good
Good
night.
night, John.
Yeah, have a good night,
Bye.
man.
Thanks for
Good night,
your
guys.
Good night, good night.
everyone.
Good night.
Woo!